We are live and people are showing up. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, everybody. I see you all joining us in here for how to make your photo book. A little bit of a different topic for us, but thanks so much for joining us this morning. My name's Scott. I'm the main photo instructor here at Dance Camera City, and here today we've got our guest Steve Giordano Jr. of PhotoFinale, one of our great business partners who, PhotoFinale, if you're unaware, you get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain today. They are the company that we partner with in order to do all our print services online. When you log on to Dance Camera City and you go to print something and you go over to Dan's Pictureworks, that's the PhotoFinale software, and they've got some great stuff that they've been building and some great new features that we're going to show off today. So thanks so much for joining us. This is our 43rd anniversary. And it's a little weird this year. Normally our anniversary events involve having all these different vendors and all these different seminars and specials and all this stuff going on in the store. Today we can't pack a bunch of people in the store, but what we can do is we can meet you all right here from the comfort of your own living room or your desk at work or wherever you happen to be right now. And we can still meet up and go over a bunch of stuff and kind of sit back and chat about photography and sharing pictures and all the good stuff that we normally do. So first I want to start off with, let's see, we're looking at creating a photo book, and that's what we're here to talk about today. A photo book is one of my favorite ways to kind of put together a bunch of my pictures. I find I wind up in the habit of taking a whole bunch of pictures, and then if you're anything like me, you've got tons and tons of pictures that sit on your hard drive that maybe you haven't really done a whole lot with. And a photo book is a great way to, it's one of my favorite ways to use those things in a way that's not just like, here's a single framed picture, but here's a collection of pictures that kind of tells a story. And so that's a bit of what we're going to talk about and the process of creating your book and sharing those memories today. All right. Now, before I go too much further, I want to, again, thank you for joining us here for our 43rd anniversary. Like I said, things are a little different this year, but we're doing a bunch of different things to try and make this as easy and to be as helpful to you as we possibly can. First of all, there is a site-wide sale going on right now at danspictureworks.com. Dan's Pictureworks is where you order all your stuff, all that PhotoFinale stuff, all the prints and books and gifts and cards and all the things that we talk about. Everything is 15% off right now. And we're also introducing some new options to make shopping a little easier for you. If you want to visit us, you can schedule time set aside just for you so that you know that when you get here, you're not going to be waiting around. You've got time set aside to work with somebody. So you can schedule an in-store consultation or a visit if you've got questions, if you've got anything you want to get taken care of, and you make sure you're kind of minimizing the amount of time that you're hanging around in a crowd of people. You can set an appointment. But we've also started moving some stuff online where even if you're, even once we're in a situation where we can have lots of people in the store again, if you're from some of the more outlying areas, if you're from Reading or Scranton or some of the other places, Hackettstown, wherever you happen to be coming from, we're now introducing the ability to book time with one of our hardware staff or our framing consultants. We're doing online video consultations where you can get the same experience of, hey, come in and chat with somebody. You want to talk to Kyle or Ken or Ben or Steve or any Audra or the people that you're normally used to working with, you can now work with them online and get your questions answered. And of course, we're also reintroducing curbside pickup. Place your order, grab it from your car, we'll bring it right out to you. And for the holidays, since so many people are running into so many shipping delays and problems, we're introducing a courier service. If you are in Lehigh or Northampton County, ask us about getting your order driven out to you by the Dan's courier in the little Dan's car for a flat rate of, I believe it's $4.99. And we can take care of that stuff for you and just alleviate a little more worry around all your holiday shopping. So let's get right into it. Taking the pictures. Well, this is not making a photo book, is it? No, we're going to talk about actually taking the pictures and kind of planning ahead for, okay, if I'm going to want to make a photo book, how am I going to make a plan for pictures that kind of tell a story. And in that, I kind of break things down into a few broad categories. We've got the people, right? Whatever kind of an event that you're working with, the people are one of the most important things that you're going to be taking pictures of, right? Oh, we've got a message in the chat. Happy anniversary. Been a loyal customer since '93 when I moved to the Lehigh Valley, and Dan's located on Highland Ave. Oh, thanks so much. That's wonderful. All right, so by the way, there's a chat box in Zoom. There's a question and answer box in Zoom. We're going to leave some time for questions and answers at the end. So if you've got questions, open up that little Q&A panel, type your questions in there, and I'll make sure we get everybody's questions answered. We'll kind of run down that stuff in the last 10 or 15 minutes. So in addition to thinking about portraits, I want to set the scene. Think about like your high school writing class, right? Like you've got who, what, where, when. Those are the things that we want to cover in our picture storytelling. So look for the wide view, something that's kind of set the scene, right? And take pictures of the action. What's going on? What's happening? Is this a vacation? Is it a holiday session? Is it like a holiday get-together or a party? But there's usually some kind of action, something that's going on, and we want to convey what's happening, right? But then all those wide views sometimes miss the little details. So we're going to go in and we're going to take some little detail shots that we can use to kind of fill in the gaps. And we'll take a look at how we can kind of arrange those pictures when we're doing our photo book layout. And then I always like to have at least a couple, what I would like to think of as like the signature image, right? Like if this was going to be a magazine story, this would be the cover page, right? The big National Geographic. This is the one image that really kind of encapsulates the whole thing. So I was kind of thinking about this when my wife and I took a vacation to Hawaii for our 10th anniversary. And so yeah, here's the portraits, me and this other couple that we happened to meet down there. Or some portraits sitting around. These could be posed or they could be candid, but I'm trying to think about, like, I want to show the people that are involved in whatever story it is that I'm telling, right? And not just here's a picture of the person, but I also like to include what are called environmental portraits, where I've got the person, but kind of in the environment and showing the surroundings. So this is a picture of the person, but it's also kind of bringing me into that scene and kind of helps tell the whole story of what's going on here. And where are we? Let's take a step back and set that scene with some nice wide views. Here we've got this would be taking a snorkeling trip. We came out here and we got here very early in the morning to go out on this tiny little boat that you see out there in the water. And man, to me, this was just like a perfect sets the scene wide view, right? I got the palm trees, I got another island there in the background, and I've got the little boat that we're going to spend the day on. And it just encapsulates that whole thing and gives me the wide view that sets the scene for this chapter of this story. Grab those shots that really stick out to you, that kind of give you a sense of the place of where you're going to be. Whether it's out on vacation to some exotic destination, or if it's your holiday family pictures, right? And get me a shot of the living room and the tree and the presents and the dinner table. All that stuff can just help set the scene and give you a sense of the place where you're at. And look for the stuff that is kind of unique, something that sets it apart from something you see in your everyday life. One thing that really stuck out to me about being in Hawaii was we'd get these absolute torrential downpours in the middle of the day with bright sunshine. Sun is shining, birds are chirping, absolute downpour. It was just the coolest thing, and I had to try and get a picture showing this torrential downpour in the bright sunshine. And then what's happening? Like, what's going on? Here's sort of the portrait-y setting, right? But there's the action. We've got some stuff that's happening, and there's some things that are going on, right? In a holiday setting, this might be kids around the Christmas tree tearing open the presents. Those are great action shots, right? But then we like to go in for those little details, because in all of these, there's always like little stuff that can help add a little more interest to the story and add a little more interest to your pictures when you're putting them together in your photo book. And they're things that kind of get missed, but they kind of help fill in little bits of detail, right? Interesting little views of things. Okay, I had that great broad overview of, okay, there's this downpour on this tropical rainforest, but let's go back for that one little flower with raindrops all over it, right? Or maybe at the holidays, look for one special little Christmas ornament, maybe a family heirloom hanging on the tree. Rather than the whole tree and the whole living room, just go in for that one little detail. Right? Interesting little textures and shapes. But then when you've got those little details, sometimes you put them together and they kind of tell a larger story. Right? Maybe Christmas decorations and food and all those things, when they're little vignettes, you clump those pictures together on a page and suddenly it's kind of telling a larger story out of these little details. There was this, I don't remember what kind of a fruit this was called, but this was not something that I ever see in Pennsylvania, walking through a botanical garden and seeing a sign that says, beware of falling fruits. Because some of these things, I guess, could hurt you if they fall out of a tree on your head. And there wasn't a great way to get that as one picture. Breadfruit, yes, thank you. That's the one. This is not like you don't walk through an apple orchard here in Pennsylvania and like run into an actual hazard of one of them falling on your head. They grow them big on the islands. And there was no way to get like a combination of those things in one picture. So I'm telling this little story through a couple of pictures that I can then group together, and your eye will kind of complete that story for you. And wherever I'm traveling or whatever I'm doing, I always like to get sort of that, what I can kind of think of as a trophy shot, the one I'm going to plan ahead for a little bit and get the one like, this is going to be one big eye-catching image. Something that in a photo book I could use full spread and just like absolutely grab you by the eyeballs. Right? And this might be the kind of thing where, okay, instead of just most of the time, I'm taking little snapshots and kind of documenting, but this might be an image where I'm going to spend some time planning ahead. This was a place that I knew from talking to another photographer. Okay, the sunset here is going to be spectacular. We're going to make a trip out here. And it was just my luck that I'm absolutely blind, dumb luck, really, that a thunderstorm had just blown through and given me this super dramatic sky as the sun was setting over the little cove here. And it just gave me these spectacular sunset shots. And that was something we planned ahead for, right? Like, this is a thing, I'm going to go here to take pictures. And I'm going to be here, I'm going to plan to be there around sunset. I'm going to make the plan to get out there and get that spectacular shot that I want. And by getting that variety, now when I go back in and I make my photo book, I've kind of got a story laid out, right? And I've got all kinds of great stuff that I can do with those things, right? Something like this, another great sunset shot, but this was, okay, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to get some pictures. I'm just going to wait a while, right? Like, sunset is a thing that happens over time. And so I will just say, I'm going to hang out here. The light's going to be changing constantly during sunset. So I'm going to hang out. I'm going to take pictures for a while. And out of these, I'm going to get through and say, you know, a couple of them are going to be good, but I'm just kind of waiting for the light to get to that point where it's going to look real nice, right? And that's going to be my keeper, my trophy shot. Right? And as the light changed, the last little bit of sunlight just broke through and dipped right down at the top of these rocks. And that was the keeper for me. Like, this was the one out of that whole series, because I got that starburst and like I got this almost painterly look on the surface of the water. And it was just a matter of, I'm going to hang around, I'm going to wait. And sure enough, eventually I got that. Like, that was the one that I was really, really happy with. Now, once I got all these pictures, I got to think about how I'm going to get them organized. And that's going to make the process of making the photo book much, much easier. If I do a little bit of work ahead of time, right, I can make the process of putting that book together easier. So now I'm going to start to think about how I'm going to sequence those pictures and how I'm going to get together. And mostly I'm going to kind of break them down into categories. because again, if you're anything like me, you've probably got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and oh no, now I gotta find them and figure out what I'm going to do with them. If you're using Apple Photos, or if you're using Google Photos, or if you're like me and you're using Adobe Lightroom, all of these tools have ways to break things down into albums. So what I will do is I'm going to create an album specifically for, I'm working on this photo book project, right? And I'm going to kind of gather all my stuff together so that when I export them to make my photo book, I've kind of already collected them all in one place. And Steve's going to talk a little bit about this as well, in the way that you can get the stuff into the system in an organized sort of way to make it a little easier to put your photo book together. But find a way to mark your favorites in any of these systems. Like I will just grab my iPad, and if I'm taking pictures, I'm going to just quickly mark things as a favorite with a little heart, or on Android, it's the little star. You say, okay, this is the one that I like. These are good. I'm going to want to come back to these. And that'll make it easier to find the things that you're looking for later, right? Out of thousands and thousands of pictures, these are the ones that stood out to me. So make a plan, go through there and mark your favorite pictures, and then maybe create albums, but at least get through that first step of, these are the ones that stick out to me. These are the ones that I'm going to want to use in my projects. If you try to do thousands and thousands of pictures all at once, you're going to drive yourself nuts. Try to get in the habit of, as you're taking pictures, say, okay, this is the one that I like, this is the one that I like, and do little chunks of them at a time, or do them as you're taking pictures or as you're bringing them in. Because I've been trying to go back and, like, I've only recently gotten into this habit, and I'm trying to go back and edit my stuff. And so now I've got to say, okay, I'm just going to do a few at a time. I'm not going to do thousands, or I'm going to absolutely drive myself nuts. I'm going to sit down like every day or every couple days and just go through some, right? And mark, okay, these are the ones that I like. These are the ones I want to do something with. I'm going to organize and sort my stuff. So now we want to talk about making the book and actually getting your stuff into this system. And here's where I'm going to turn things over to Steve, so that he can give us a little more insight into exactly how we're going to work with that system, and then some of the great photo book options that are available, including our brand new Prestige photo books, which are just a spectacular looking product. And I'm going to let him tell you about that stuff. So Steve, you want to take it away, and we can take a look at making our photo books.
Sure. Thank you, Scott, for the wonderful introduction. Can you verify you can see my screen?
Yeah, looks good.
All right, great. All right, thank you everybody for your time. I just want to thank Dan's Camera for being one of our premier customers. Funny enough, when we started our company, Dan's Camera was our very first customer. So they're very near and dear to our hearts, and we love working with the team over there. So let's talk about how to make a photo book. So this is danspictureworks.com. This is where you go to start making your photo book. The first thing to remember about books is always log in to Dan's Pictureworks and create an account. The accounts are free, so you can create one on Dan's Pictureworks. But the reason why you want to make sure you're logged in first is that all your progress in making a book will be saved in the system, and every image you upload will be saved into the system, so you won't lose anything. So so you can start today and finish tomorrow. You're going to find photo books take quite a bit of time to get done and get right because they're so personal. So make sure you're logged in. So the way you do that first at Dan's Pictureworks is you go into My Account. And if you're not logged in, you'll see this status right here. And I could hit sign in. Now I'm already a member, but you could hit join and you can become a member if you do. But I'm a member. I'm going to sign in. And then I do the easiest sign in always. I just log in with Facebook credentialing. Now this doesn't share anything with Facebook. It doesn't update it. They don't use anything. Dan's Camera doesn't do anything with that information. It just makes it convenient to log in. So now I'm logged in as my account. So once I'm logged in, I want to go start to think about what type of photo book do I want to make. Dan's Camera has basically three kinds of photo books. The first are your prestige photo books. These are your high-end photo books that what I call heirloom or display photo books. These are the ones you leave on the coffee table for everyone to pick up when they come to your house. These are the memories that are cherished, that you want people to see and you want to highlight in your house, or they're heirlooms. These are photo books you want to pass down generation to generation or give as a very impressive gift. The popular use for prestige are weddings, graduations, the story of your life book, going in and doing that scan box from Dan's camera and getting the story of grandma and her 90 years, grandpa and grandma in World War II and the whole story of the family. That type of photo book is really the prestige side. The other side is your custom photo books, and these are the ones that Dan's camera can make for you in just a couple of days. So the way you look here is these are your prestige photo books, and you can kind of get an idea for what type of books these are. There's a short little video. Lay flat books are photographic quality. They're done on Fuji premium paper, and they're matte and finish. They have a binding that rather than cardboard is actually wood. So it doesn't warp and it lasts for a long time. So those are prestige lay flat books. Then we also have prestige press books. Now these are going to be a traditional style photo book, but still with that wood cover that allows you to really have that heirloom product. So this has a traditional look instead of lay flat. And they all come in a nice packaging. And then we have the prestige soft cover, and this is really the starter book. This is where you want to just get something done quick. This is very affordable, and this is the one I call a brag book. This is one you keep in your purse, or you just throw at somebody at a party to have them flip through and see what you did. Another style of book is the custom photo books. If you click here, and these are the ones Dan's camera does in-house and can get them done for you very efficiently. These books are just as good as the prestige from storytelling and from picture quality, but they use cardboard instead of hardwood. The paper quality is a little different, but they're a fine quality book, and this is what you get done for your everyday book, is how I like to frame it. All right, so once you figure out what type of book you want, whether it's a prestige or a custom photo book that you get done in-house, then you want to go into your account, and the easiest way to get there is to go to Print Now. And that'll log me in and it'll show me my account. You'll see my albums. And just like Scott was talking about, I want to go ahead and organize my photos for a photo book. So I'm going to create a new collection, and I'm going to create a photo book album called Family Photos. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and upload my family photos by clicking the upload button. And I'm going to pull these from my computer. So I click there, and I want original size. Always use original size unless you're doing a quick 4x6 print. Then you want to use a medium size. But really, original size is what you want for everything. You simply hit Add Photos and go to your pictures. I'm going to go to my folder here. And then I'm going to show you how fast it is. Look how many photos I can upload. Right? And then it's going to start uploading photos. And that's how fast the Dan's Camera uploader is. So notice these are about 3 megabyte photos, so they're not the biggest photos in the world, but they're good size. Some of these are 5 or 6 megabytes. All right, so now I've got my family photos all uploaded, but I also have some images from my cell phone that I need to get in. So I'm going to go to add a collection, and I'm going to call cell phone images. Now, Dan's Camera has a new feature called Easy Link, which you've probably never seen before, and nobody else has on the market. It is an amazing product. Okay, so let's go ahead and upload photos from a mobile device. And now you're going to get this option for a QR code or a text number. Now, I'm going to pull up my phone so you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to screen mirror to this device. Sorry, it just takes a second to connect. All right, so now you guys can see my phone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the camera, and I'm going to take a picture of this QR code. And then from my phone, I can add photos by clicking here from my photo library. I'm going to go to my albums, and I'm going to go to my favorites, and I'm going to add phone images right from my phone. And that's how easy it is to get images out of your phone and into Dan's Pictureworks. So look how simple that was. Now you can also add images if you don't know how to use a QR code, and if you're an Android and you're not quite sure how it all works, you can also upload photos from your phone, right? And you could type in your phone number. And what it'll do in that case is it will text you a link. And then you could just link that way. And I could add photos from my photo library. I'm going to add pictures of my son, which he won't like me adding. There we go. And now I've added images from my phone. So with Dan's Pictureworks, you can add either from your phone or from your computer very easily. And then once you have them all organized, they're in different albums here. You can see your photos. Now, if you wanted to preview the photos, you could always preview them large like this, and you could scroll through and you could see all the things that you wanted to update. Okay, so now let's start making our photo book. We're going to go into photo books here, and I'm going to make a prestige lay flat photo book. You could do one with a photo cover or with a leather cover. You could choose which one you want. And notice they're on sale right now. I'm going to go ahead and do a 10 by 10 photo book. And I'm just going to go with a classic white background. You want to give your project a name and a description. Now, the reason why you want to do that is because after 3 or 4 years at Dan's Camera, you're going to have 5 or 10 books. You're going to have 100 books. You want to be able to go back and reorder them. Because every book is stored in your account, you could reorder every book always without remaking it. So if your mom comes over and loves your book, you can just log into your Dan's account and reprint it. If you lose it or damage it, you can also reprint it right from your account. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So we simply hit next. You want to manually fill or autofill? I never use autofill when I make a photo book. You can if you're just making a quick book. But generally, manually filling is the way I like to go because it's much more personal. You want to default to how many images per page or mix it up? Let's mix it up. And we're going to just go ahead and do a small photo book. Okay? And now it'll show you your photo book layout with your mixed up designs. And we're going to go ahead and start editing your pages. All you do now is you take a photo and you drag it into your album. You could change albums right here by clicking here, and then you can get access to any of your photos. So let's say I wanted cell phone photo. I wanted this picture of Jackson here. I could scroll that down. Now notice this image has been modified and it's not hitting the resolution. So if you get this little warning, you may say, okay, I don't want to use that image. That's too low res. All right. So it looks like all my cell phone images are low res. So I'm going to go back into my family photos and I'm going to change my album, my image to this one. And all you do is you simply go through and start telling your story. Okay. But let's say this layout doesn't work for you. All you have to do then is to go here to layouts and scroll through and find a layout that does work for you. And you could say, well, what I'm really looking for is 2 hero photos or 1 hero photo that spans across the page. These are the girls, my wife and the girls. And then I wanted to go through and I wanted to add images down here that will support those images, right? Now, granted, I'm not as well laid out as Scott was with his album. My images are kind of random, but you get the idea. You can change layouts and change the way you want things to look. And then when you want to go to the next page, you simply hit go to the next page. And let's go ahead and change the layout here to something a little more simple. Let's go, let's just do 2 photos. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and choose some images. And this is my son looking about as cute as can be. All right. Now let's say maybe I wanted to resize these photos. You could always grab them. You could rotate them. and you can pick them up and move the whole thing around. Right? Now, when you have it like this, you can actually move it to the front or the back if you'd like. You could bring it forward, or you can move it back. And you can decide which image is overlapping. So if you're very creative, which I'm not, you could really lay out an interesting style of photo book. One of the other things you can do is you could take this page like this. Let's see, let me get a different layout. I'm going to go back with this layout here. And I want to put an image here. I'm going to find a good image. And I'm going to go ahead and make this the background for the whole page. And then let's say I wanted to, on this image, set the opacity. And I kind of wanted that to be the background of the page, and at the same time have smaller photos supporting it. Right? So you can just keep laying out things however you want. At any point in time, you could go ahead and add a photo. And you could go do that like that. So you just go down here to your tool section, hit add a photo. You can add as many photos as you want, and you can start to lay out a nice little page. Okay, again, bring forward, bring back, set as background, change opacity. You can add a border if you'd like. You could choose the color of the border. For God's sakes, I don't know why I'd want this big yellow border, but you could do it. Right? You could also rotate the photos, and you could add text. So if your layout doesn't have text by default, you simply hit the add text, and then you can tell your story. Now, one of the interesting things about text is you're going to be tempted to copy and paste from Word or from your iPhone. The emojis in a lot of the Apple fonts or Android fonts will not transfer to our system because our system doesn't have a license for those emojis. So when you transfer over, make sure you don't use emojis, use a lot more text. You're just going to type in something here. You could change the font size, the font type. We have lots of fun little fonts. And then you could hit here. I want to change the font size. I want to italicize it. Okay, you can also align. You can change the font color. You get the idea. So as I'm laying out my photo book, I just keep laying images out. And I slowly build my story. Now, one of the other things about our system, or what we have built in, is you could take this photo right here and you can actually edit it with Imagely. And that is an interesting feature because now I can do all sorts of things. I can do things like add vignettes. I can smooth it out. I could change the brightness or contrast of an image. I could add some fun text right on the image itself. I could make some sort of memes, and I forget how to do this. So you could go ahead and add some great fun. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. And then once I'm done editing this photo, I mean, you could do other things. You could do, I think there's blemish removals, and you can mirror your fonts, and you can do overlays and all sorts of fun stuff. But I would play with the editor and have some fun. We're gonna go ahead and save. And we're gonna go ahead and replace this photo. Normally I say save a new copy, but this is a demo, so that way you don't overwrite the original. So we're going to go through, and it'll update this image right into the photo book itself. Looks like it's not as fast when you're on a Zoom call as it is normally. Well, give me a second here. Well, that's so fun. I'm just going to cancel this and go back to my book. So you'll notice that we're still in our book here. So as you're done laying it out, whatever you wanted to do, just keep laying out your photos. You can simply hit the, once you're done making your photo book, you hit the continue to second step. And in this case, you're going to say, well, what do you want to do? We want, choose the paper for your book. I want to upgrade it to metallic paper. Okay. And the next item is going to be your cover. What style cover do you want? We're going to do a full photo cover. And now you're going to lay out your cover photo. It did update my photo, it looks like. Boom. Okay. And then you could also do a color picker. Background, and you can make the background any color you want. And we're going to say add to cart. And now you've created your photo book. Notice it'll show you there your image. And that's as simple as it is. Now, we talked earlier about saving projects. If you go into your account, you could go into your saved projects, and it'll show you every project you ever made, whether it was a mug, whether you made an envelope, or whether you made a photo book. And you could always go back into that project and edit it. You can also go in and preview your photo book, and that'll show you the actual rendering of the photo book as it's going to be printed. So you can see it without those empty photo spots or without text spots that aren't filled out. Okay, the advantage of this is it'll show you exactly how it's going to print. Sometimes it can be confusing, so I do recommend proofing a page. So you notice this page has nothing on it, but if I looked at that page here, it has this on it. So you get to get the idea by looking at the proof of exactly what the site will look like. And that's how you make a photo book in a nutshell. Scott, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so what I could do is I could go over some other features of Dan's Pictureworks, or I could go in depth on a feature if there's any questions.
Well, we do have one question. What are the storage and time limits on the account? Like, what's the storage limit and how long does that stuff hang around?
Well, because Dan's Camera is one of our premium customers, there is not a storage limit. Upload, as long as you are a customer of Dan's and you have a membership in their Dan's Pictureworks, you can upload your photos and they will stay there forever for as long as you're a customer of Dan's. So that's, so make as many books as you want. We have some customers with, tens of thousands of images, and we have other customers with 2 or 3 images. So, it's open to you.
Yeah, I know that's been one of my favorite features, is being able to go back to a photo book I made like 2 or 3 years ago and say, oh, I need another one of these. And it's still there. All my stuff's still in that system.
Well, that's the one thing that photo books are, what's beautiful about photo books is that they are so personal that when people see them, they get attached to them. And if they're family members, they're going to want copies of them. If you're part of a sports team, like a baseball team or a soccer team, imagine you make a photo book of the soccer team and you show it to the other parents. They're going to want copies. You're going to be able to just go to Dan's Pictureworks and reorder that. Really simple.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. And like the fact that once I've uploaded all my stuff, if I want to reuse it in something else, it's just there in my account. I don't have to worry about uploading it again later.
Yep. So I see the question is, what is your favorite types of photo books? I can tell you the #1 photo book made for the Prestige photo book is a wedding album or engagement. Those are really huge books. Quinceañera, funny enough, up there in the top 5, as are the Story of My Life books. These have been very, very popular, especially in the COVID era, as we're all sitting at home going through our memories. We've been scanning a lot of our old photos, and doing a photo book of your family history is an amazing project. And you can make a nice 50-page lay flat photo book that'll just shock your family and show them how beautiful it is. So those are good. But my favorite photo books are the impromptu. We went to the beach yesterday and look how much fun we have, and do the nice $20, the $14.95 prestige soft cover. You do the quick photo book and just tell the quick story. Books don't always have to be monolithic. They don't have to be huge stories we tell. Sometimes they can just be, hey, we had some fun. Let's document that.
You know, that's funny because like my mind went in a completely different direction with that, Coimbra, when I went like full on art history nerd. And I'm thinking, what are some of my favorite photo books? Well, Robert Frank, The Americans is one of my favorites. Sally Mann, Immediate Family. I really like Dan Eldon, The Journey is the Destination. But like then I look at these books and I kind of use them for inspiration for how I put together my own photo books. Like looking at other photographers and saying like, wow, this guy went nuts with like his photo layouts and his backgrounds and stuff. And I can actually do this in that system by saying, okay, I'm going to set this as my background image, and then I'm going to throw this over here and this over here, and then throw a little text on it.
Yep.
And
So
it's been a great system to work with.
So the question here, the next question was the ability to edit photos in a photo book. To what extent? So, and is it better to do it in your iPhone or in the photo book? The problem with most editors on the iPhone, unless you purchase the app, if you're using the free apps, it's going to downgrade your image quality quite substantially. So if you go to make a 12 by 12 photo book and you have this beautiful, gorgeous photo and you applied filters to it, you don't have enough resolution really to do something amazing. I would recommend taking the original file, uploading it, and then using the built-in editors on PhotoFinale. Now, if there's some editing that our system can't handle, obviously do it through your iPhone or your computer, but make sure you're saving the highest resolution. Many of the free editors are downgraded resolutions. You want to be careful.
Yeah, a couple that I like, especially if I'm working on the iPhone, like I found that like Lightroom on the iPad actually works really, really well. It's tied into my Lightroom account and I can edit stuff right on here. But you're right, when I do that export, I've got to specify, do the full resolution export. Don't do the small resolution, the quick share. Like I'll export the small ones if I'm going to post to Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, if I'm going for the photo book, it's got to be that full resolution file.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shipping is included with the Prestige line of products. And that's delivered free to your home or to pick up at Dan's. For the custom photo books, it's pick up in store, I think. So I don't know what your standard shipping options are, Scott. Do you?
I would have to look at our standard shipping, but I believe they're pretty reasonable. And like I said, if we're worried about shipping for the holidays, we are introducing that courier service right now. Right? So if you're in Lehigh or Northampton County and we can get to you in the little Dan's mobile, we will bring that out to you for $5.
That's great.
Yeah. Now that's a thing that we've just kind of rolled out, and it's kind of, we're rolling with it as we can. So if you want to take advantage of that, give us a call. I don't think we've been able to set that up as a shipping method yet. So just like set it for in-store pickup and then say, hey, I want to use the courier service, right? Or I want to do curbside pickup, or give us get in touch with us and let us know how you'd like to go with that.
Right. So somebody has a question if you could upload subfolders into our system. Unfortunately not. No, it would collapse all into a single folder. So you just want to create the subfolders here. You could create as many collections as you want. You could just say, wedding.
Right.
What a lot of people do is actually, what some people do is this. And this was an interesting thing. They go one and they do, engagement. And they'll create a folder for that. And then they'll create a new collection. And they'll say two. They'll say wedding. And they'll create albums in order like this. And then so that way it keeps organized inside their Dan's Picture Works. So I've seen that quite a bit. And then you could sort here, and you could sort it by name, and then it'll sort it like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wound up doing with those, like all those Hawaii pictures when I was making my photo book. Like we were there for 2 weeks, so dumping them all into one big Hawaii folder didn't work when I was trying to structure the book, because then I'd be looking back and forth for, okay, I want one of these and then one of these. So what I did was I wound up doing exactly that, right? I would say, okay, here was this destination on this day, and then on this day we did this thing, and I created individual little folders for that, so that when I was kind of laying the book out, I could say, okay, show me all the pictures from like Waimea Valley or wherever we went, and show me all the pictures from our snorkeling trips. And I would kind of break them out that way. And it made it easier to go through the process of making the book.
So here's a pro feature. If you're part of Dan's Camera and you upload a lot of photos, like a lot of customers do, when you're creating the collection, always start with the year.
Oh, good tip.
And then whatever you call it. And
Yeah.
then that way, when you sort by name, you'll have everything chronological versus the order you upload. Because you may not upload in order. You may upload over time. You're like, this is a picture from grandma in 1940 and I'm uploading it today. But if you created that and you name it the year first, this is a good way.
Yeah.
To sort photos.
Good tip. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's a question here that says, when you finish your book, do you press print?
Yes, what you do is you hit continue to the second step if you have a cover. And then, let me just go to my card. Then you would just go to checkout.
Right. Okay.
And then you would check out normally. And you have options for improved paper surfaces if you'd like. The metallic photo paper in a lay flat photo book is astounding if you have well lit outdoor photos. I can't tell you how beautiful that book is. If you have old photos with a lot of red yellow coloring, do not do metallic photo paper. It will not look amazing. So when you want to make sure you pay attention when you look at a paper surface to what the subject matter is. Your Hawaii photos, for example, Scott, would look amazing on metallic paper.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, with those sunsets and the shimmering water.
That's going to look amazing. However, my pictures of the way I take them, because I'm not a great photographer, I would never use metallic photo paper. So make sure you pay attention there. And then you check out. And just normal checkout.
Nice. Let's see. Vincent asks, is there a way I can copy the photo book to my own computer?
Unfortunately, don't have that yet. It is in our proprietary format. It's not something that we're against. We just haven't gotten there.
Right.
It's not a principle thing. It's just an effort thing.
Right. It's just not like this is for output on this system and it's just not there. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But they will have it forever at Dan's Camera.
Yeah, that's true. Like it's always there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where's the spine of the book in relation to the page that you're showing? Can you create a page with a photo that spans over the spine, like runs across the gutter to span across two pages?
So like if you use the lay flat book, if you use the lay flat book, no problem. So let's go back into my project. I'm gonna go ahead and open the project. By the way, you can copy a project as well. So let's say you make your Christmas photo album and you got one for the in-laws and one for the outlaws. You could do that. So they could maybe different photos. So here's a photo, for example, when I laid this out, I made this picture span across the spine.
Okay, so that's a two-page spread.
That's a yeah. So this is a two-page spread. So this image is probably a better photo. Let me get a better photo. This is one of those iPhone photos that's gone through a filter, and notice it doesn't like the resolution. But you can kind of see the filter with the texture. So where did I have photos? Up here where I have family photos. Let me see if I have a good photo. There we go. My big crazy family. So there you go. That's spanning across the spine with minimum images. Now you can also go into the layouts and you can find where it's just a full image. Like that as well. Mm-hmm. So it depends on how you go. This is the most popular in the center of a wedding book. This will be the Kiss the Bride moment. Full photo. Yep. And we'll use this layout always for the Kiss the Bride moment.
Right, that real grab them by the eyeball signature image that I was talking about, like that'd be great as that, two-page spread, just like.
Yeah, and I can't tell you, the metallic paper, if you have a beautiful sunshine set or an ocean shot or something with a lot of blues and colors like that, if you do a full frame spread on a metallic paper and a prestige photo book, it's going to knock your socks off. It really just will.
Cool. All right, we've got a
You
question.
can-
Can you mix
Okay.
papers in the same book?
Unfortunately, no. That's something
Yeah,
we
that's what I
can't do,
figured,
right?
right? Like it's going to come out as whichever paper surface you pick.
That's right. So real quick, I'm going to show something that we didn't look at. We looked at the Prestige photo book. One of the cool things about the Dan's Camera custom photo books that they do much quicker are the amount of themes that they have. So you have lots of themes if you go here. So you go down and you could find Christmas themed photo books that are all ready to tell that Christmas story, that they have nice backgrounds all designed for Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and show what that photo book looks like. So different book types have different themes. I'm going to go 2 images per page. We're just going to do a 20-page book. All right. And now you can see, you could actually add photos this way. I don't know if I told you that. So this is the fast way. If you really know what you're doing, you can lay out a photo book in no time. But you can see what these themes look like. They already have text built in. Right? And then you can go through the next page. And these have much better layouts. So this is part of the custom photo books that you can get done same day, or I don't know if it's same day. I don't know what your turnaround time is.
I
This
will
is
have
my
to double check
nephew.
that.
This is my nephew. He's in college and he uses this as his Tinder profile.
How's that working out for him?
Pretty well. So you get the idea.
Yeah. Actually, while you're here, we've got one more question about, it says, how do I get the images from my iPhone to my Dan's account? And can we take another quick look at exactly how that worked with that QR code? Because I think we went over it, but
Sure.
maybe, like, it's such a cool feature.
Let's go over it. So if you just go here to upload, at any point in time, you can hit the upload button right here and you can go in. And it'll say, I want to upload from a mobile device. And it'll give you 2 options, the QR code or text. A lot of people are just comfortable with text. Type in your phone number, it's simple. But if you're comfortable with QR codes, as we all have gotten comfortable over the year because of menus, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my, I'm going to share my phone again. Takes a second for it to sync up so I can show my screen. There we go. All right, so I would just come here. All you do is you point your camera on an iPhone at the code, then see at the top of my screen where it says upload to kiosk, then you just click on that. And then you hit add photos from your photo library, and then it'll just go into your albums and it'll find photos that are in your albums on your iPhone. Then you select which ones you want to upload. You hit add, and it uploads them as fast as that right into your Dan's Pictureworks account. It's as simple as that. So now I can add a photo of my awesome sandwich, which is still uploading. Right now it's syncing all the images in the background server. There you go. So there you go. And I just got images from my iPhone into my computer as fast as that.
And that's made
Is that
it
helpful?
super easy. Yeah. Especially since, like, as much as I love walking around with even my little compact camera, it's still not always the one I've got with me. Your phone is
Yep.
just 100% of the time always in your pocket, right? And being able to get the pictures into this system that easily has been a really great feature.
Yeah, that is, and that's really been the #1 challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it was developed because my wife yelled at me. That's the reason why we did it. Because she said it was impossible to get images from her phone into our system.
Well, that's certainly a motivating factor, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. I think we've gotten through everybody's questions.
Great.
Awesome.
Is that, I think we're good. Thank
Yeah.
you, Scott, for allowing me to talk to your customers.
Yeah. All right. So a little bit of a wrap up here then. As we think about the storytelling and we're doing that layout, I like to start with a big, strong visual and end with a big, strong visual, right? I like to, those 2-page spreads are great for letting those trophy shots kind of stand on their own. Grouping those little details together, like you had that 2-page spread and then all the little detail shots underneath. Those detail shots, you can kind of group them together and it gives context and kind of helps tell your story and flesh out the whole idea, right? So thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. We have a little bonus for you. Because you joined us for this webinar, we've got a coupon for you for 25% off any photo book order. Any photo book order, even the big fancy prestige photo books. With the code BOOK25 now through December 31st, you can save 25% off your photo book. Write this one down, because this is just a little special thank you that we're giving to you for joining us this afternoon. All right. So once again, thanks, Steve, for joining us and showing off this whole system and helping us work through this whole process. You there, Steve? And
you're welcome. Thank you, guys.
And thanks for joining us here at our 43rd anniversary. We've got a ton more stuff coming up. If you go to danscamera.com/anniversary, there's a bunch more free webinars, and there's also a ton of great specials. And as I said, we've got a discount running on everything at Dan's Picture Works right now. So go ahead and check it out. And I hope we see you again soon.